Welcome to your Silver Circle. I'm Anita.
And I'm Mary Lee, and we're glad you're here today.
Yeah.
We'd like to talk about grandchildren, and we do like to talk about our
We do.
grandchildren.
I have four children, but have one grandchild.
And I have two children and six grandchildren, and my grandchildren range from 19 to 5. So I have a
You have
range
a wide range.
of grandchildren. And we wanted to talk about interacting with your grandchildren and spending time with them. And, you might be interested, even if you don't have grandchildren, because you may have grandchildren in the future, or, you can adopt grandchildren.
That's right.
They can be not blood
Right. That's right.
grandchildren, but you can have a relationship with a child.
That's right.
And so we thought it would be fun to talk about some of those things. And while our grandchildren live close, that's not true for all of you. And actually, some of our ideas that we're going to share
Yep.
came about from our time during the pandemic when we couldn't get together with our grandchildren in person.
Right.
So
Right.
that caused us to get a little creative.
Yeah. My granddaughter is, according to this, is 13. In a few months, she'll be 14 and getting her driver's permit.
Wow.
Right. So my experience will be from having an only grandchild. And I don't know that there's a lot of people who are in that very unique situation, but I'm going to speak on that from that point of view. Whereas you have, I imagine it's a little more difficult because you're juggling all those different ages.
Yeah, and they're such fun different ages.
Yeah.
So two grandsons, one that's about to be a senior in high school, one that's about to be a sophomore in college, and then their sister who's 14,
Yeah.
just turned 14, and then a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 5-year-old. And so that does present some challenges. And, I think too, one of the things we've talked about is how that's changed
Right.
as they go through the various
Right.
stages
Well,
of their
just
lives.
thinking about, when my granddaughter was 5 and what we were doing with her and what you're doing now with your 5-year-old granddaughter, it's not necessarily the same. It's a
Right.
little different.
Right. Because she was that child that went through the pandemic
Right.
as, a preschooler.
Right.
And so she has a little bit different view of the world, but
Yeah.
she's my Barbie kid. She plays Barbies with me.
Yep.
We make up some pretty intricate Barbie stories.
She likes to direct.
She does.
She's the director and producer.
Yeah. She's like, here, you be Skipper. Skipper's going to do this.
That's right.
Kind of
Now
thing.
say this.
You're right. But during the pandemic, as you know, that grandparent interaction is really important to me. I grew up without having grandparents
Right.
at all. They were gone before I was born. And so it's a really important thing to me to make memories
Right.
with my grandchildren. And suddenly, 2020, we're not able to get together. And that just killed me.
Because up until then, your grandkids were over almost weekly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Whereas my granddaughter, we probably saw her once or twice a month,
Mhm.
but she has a lot of grandparents, multiple. So we're all kind of passing her around. She's
Uh-huh.
my only, so I try to be very, I don't want to hug her.
You try to share
I try to
nicely.
share. I do. And try not to one up all the other grandparents. I get a little overboard. I do fall into that trap sometimes, so I try to stop myself. But, at that before then, it was just like,
Yeah.
where do you want to go? What do you want to do? We can do anything. You can stay the night or whatever you want. And then,
Yeah.
like you
I
said,
often had, all of them from time to time.
a party at your
Yep.
place.
Yep. So that was hard, and we had to think of things that we could do.
Right.
One of the things that I did with the girls is we did a doll party. And so I sent them invitations and a cupcake for the party and a little, sort of party favor bag,
Yep.
and invited them to bring their dolls. And I brought a doll as well, These were like the American Girl size
So
dolls,
not evil dolls.
not evil
Evil.
dolls. And then we did Facebook Live, and we played with the dolls on Facebook Live. And we actually included one of my great nieces that's in Texas. So she participated as well.
Fun. I love that.
Then we had the party, and then we all watched a movie together
Yes.
because, you could still
You could do
you could
that.
still do that. I
Yeah.
mean, it was challenging.
Yeah. Well, Amazon makes that easier. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can do a watch party and invite people to watch
Oh,
with you.
that's cool.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. I've done that. I've done that with friends, but not my granddaughter because we have very different tastes in movies. And I'm going to watch this with Jasper.
Yeah, that's something that's sort of changed over the years too,
Yeah.
and some of the movies I have to do is this appropriate? I'm not sure
Right.
this is appropriate.
Are your parents?
Yeah, yeah. So, sometimes I have to get some advice on which ones are appropriate. But the other thing that we did was we did Zoom bingo.
I love that.
We bought a bingo. My nephew in Texas bought bingo set up.
Yep.
And then sent us all cards.
Uh-huh.
And what are those called that go on the cards?
Oh, the little, not
little-
daubers, but the
little
little
Divot
tiddlywink.
things that go on there.
The tiddlywinks.
And, they call the numbers,
Yep.
and we did
Your spotters. I don't
long
know.
distance bingo,
Yeah.
which was great fun.
We love bingo. We play penny bingo. We do that when we've done that going on vacation or the holidays, just when y'all come over, we will play penny bingo and everybody brings their pennies. And my granddaughter never brings her pennies. She always uses mine. She's like, well, grandma's got me covered. And she's not wrong
Right?
because I only have one.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
here's my pennies. And
Yeah.
so we play penny bingo.
Well, and we did, the little video game Among Us
Mm-hmm.
because we could all do that on our phones, even though we weren't together. You actually did a live
We
Among
did.
Us.
We did a live one. That was so much fun. And she still to this day talks about doing that. It was a lot of work, but it was just so worth it. So I found somebody who had just kind of had a blog of what they were doing for birthday parties. And so I just took that, did everything. And then when we went on a trip, we did a road trip to the Smoky Mountains. And I kind of had things in mind if it rained. And of course it rained.
Of course.
And so we played Among Us inside this big cabin and videotaped it. And we just had a ball. And I still have everything. They're trying to figure out how to do that here. Our place isn't quite big enough. So
because you need a little more
yes.
separate areas to
Yeah.
go to.
Yeah. Because you don't want everyone to immediately know who's sus.
Well, and I have to tell you, with the online version, I didn't immediately know lots of times when it should have been obvious
Right.
to me. I'm still like, they're like, Mimi, what are you doing in there? I don't know.
I've done forgot to get up.
I don't
My son
know.
would constantly, Mom, you're chasing me. You're chasing me. You're chasing me. I'm like, I just trying to figure out how to get up. I was got stuck on one side of the map. Now I have watched people play this game.
Uh-huh.
So I would know how to play it. And I still am a
But
horrible
still.
player.
Still. But, I think that's one of the things you have to, as a grandparent, go with their interests.
Absolutely.
You've sort of got to jump in.
Yep.
And, maybe you're not good at it. I have one of my grandsons loves board games.
Yeah.
And so we play board games together, and
Uh-huh.
I really enjoy that. we decided to do poker, which I'm very bad at. And
Is that why he plays with you?
maybe. But we also then brought the girls in
Uh-huh.
and found out that he and I are pretty cautious
Yeah.
poker players, and the girls not so much.
Because they
you know?
know it's just chips.
Yeah, yeah, because there's no
And
money
you're treating it
involved.
like real money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there's no
That's
money involved.
That's a great way to really understand. Playing with your grandkids is a great way to really understand their personality.
Right.
And
Understand kind of how their brains work.
Yes,
And
yes.
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. My granddaughter loves to play apples to apples. And she's gotten really good at knowing how to play her cards to the audience. And before she would just be, pick
Yeah.
like what cards she liked. And now she's getting to know like, oh, grandma's always going to be old school. So I don't know who this person is. I'm pretty sure I can play that and
Yeah.
grandma will know. And so
Uh-huh.
like that,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
That's great.
Yeah.
We play a game called Chatter Matters,
Oh, I
and
don't know
it's
that one.
all about knowing the other people.
Oh.
So part of you draw cards. It's
Uh-huh.
a board game. You draw cards, and some of the questions are around how well you know the other people.
Oh, I love
So it
that
draws
game.
out, it's been interesting because it
Yeah.
draws out, some family stories
Mhm.
and that type of thing, like how did your parents meet and
Oh,
things like that. So we found that a really fun game.
and that's called Chatter Matter.
Chatter Matters.
Okay. Maybe
Yep.
we'll put the link down below in the notes for people who are interested.
And when both your granddaughter and my granddaughters were small, we
Mhm.
used to do different things with them.
Yep.
We did
Together.
like on Take Your Child to a Bookstore Day, we
Yeah.
did Take Your Grandchild to a Bookstore Day. We did movies and
Yeah.
the jump houses. What are those called? Where you
Bounce
go on,
houses.
yeah,
I don't
bounce.
know.
Yeah.
Monkey
Or
something.
where you go jump on the trampoline things
Yeah.
or oh my gosh, the
It
pizza
used to be
place.
called, oh, Chuck E. Cheese.
Uh,
Oh my gosh. You
uh,
know what? We finally are at a,
we're
well,
out
not
of that
finally, but we're
age.
out of
Yeah.
that age.
Yeah.
And now we're into miniature golf, which I love.
Yeah, I do too.
I love miniature golf and she enjoys that. So she's like, you want to go miniature golf? Yeah. And we do bowling. We like to bowl. We
We
just
have
went
not done
bowling.
that for a while, but that's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So, I think as you interact with your grandchildren, the amount of time that
Hmm.
they have to spend with you changes, but also their interests change.
Right.
So, one of the things that you have to do is kind of be flexible.
Right. And listen to them. So, be flexible in what they want you to do. So, my granddaughter, this last year for school in sports, she decided to do track. Wanted to do volleyball. That didn't work out. She did basketball. So I kept saying, I want to come. I want to come. And she was like, you can't come to the first game of basketball because we aren't going to be very good. I want you to come later when we're better, but don't wait till the last game. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's rules.
Pressure, pressure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But I did as she asked. It's not how I would have done it, but I'd have been at all of them, but that's fine. And then once you're there, she's like, okay, you don't ever have to come again if you don't want to. It's like,
But
well, I
but
enjoy
that
it.
but that showing up really is so important. I got a range, as we said, so I've been to track meets and marching band and show choir and taekwondo and volleyball and dance and cheer and tumbling and they will remember that you were there.
Yes.
They will remember that you were
Yep.
there.
Yep. And even though they say don't come,
Yeah.
sometimes I come. And then she's really glad.
Because they go through phases,
Yeah.
There's so much pressure, and you
Yeah.
and I've talked about this. There's so much pressure that they're under, and that begins to impact them.
Right.
And so maybe, if they're not going to be as open with, I want you to be there,
Right.
grandma.
Right.
But
But I love when I think the biggest kick I get out of it and the biggest reward for me is when you do show up and they're so excited to see you because she's still, even like I just went to her spring concert, I guess is what it is, before school was over. And she was so happy to see me, grandma, grandma, hug, hug, hug. And then they introduced me to all her friends. This is my grandma. And then they're like, hi, grandma, hi, grandma. It's like, oh, I just love that. You're like, okay, she still loves me. She still wants to be around me. This is good because, like you were saying, you got to be
yeah,
flexible as they
you
get older.
and you need to do what they want to do. I
Yeah.
mean, they're figuring out what they're interested in, and so it may change.
Yeah.
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 They're still trying things out.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
the other thing that we've done is a road trip, which is
You've done a few.
a whole other challenge. But
Especially the day after retirement.
yeah, we did do a kind of a big one the day after retirement. But prior to that, we did a trip to Chicago with the two grandsons,
Yeah.
which was great because we had some time together in the car
Mm.
to talk. we went to all the museums, we rode the L,
Yeah,
it was an experience that I hope they'll remember. I know I will remember
right,
because it
right.
was a great time together. And it doesn't even have to be a big road trip.
No, we've done road trips around here. She gets car sick, so we're always I'm always trying to like, let's go on a road trip. Let's go somewhere outside of this area. And
Mhm.
she's like, get car sick. So
Mhm.
we did do the Smoky Mountains. She enjoyed staying at the next hotel and swimming. And then she liked when we got there. She didn't really enjoy being in the
In
car
the
so
car.
much. Whereas,
Yeah.
our kids, we did a lot of road trips. And then because my parents live in California, so we road trip out there. So
Mhm.
it was always stop and see and do things. And so they enjoy that. But so I just like, okay, we'll figure something different out. We'll do something closer.
Well, the 3 youngest just did a road trip without me, and I put together a little care
Oh,
package.
that's nice.
So I found at Cracker Barrel, I don't know if they had these when you were a kid, but they did when I was a kid, sort of the bingo thing
Oh,
where,
yeah.
oh, I found a car from
Yep.
out of state.
Yep.
I saw this on the highway,
Yeah.
and they have the little slide windows. So
Yes.
I bought them bingo cards to do that. And
Did you have to do the slug bug
yeah, I
every time you
did.
saw? Love
Yeah,
it. You see
yeah.
Volkswagen hit the slug bug.
Yeah, yeah. So, road trips can be fun.
Yep.
Maybe they're not for everybody,
Yep.
but
That's okay.
it's an idea. We did just recently just a day at the mall.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just a small outing like that
Yep.
where we um had lunch, we went to the mall, we shopped, we ended up at Barnes and Noble, no surprise there. They knew we were going to end up in a bookstore, but
Mine always, when we do that, she likes to end up at Hot Topic,
uh,
because she's 13. I'm like, it's such a small store. We have been here 45 minutes. It is a small store, man. That's when I have to put on my big girl grandma panties and just hang in there. Well, I'm really
and
done.
And we sort of had a range because we have different types of shoppers. We
Right.
have a very decisive shopper. We have I'm just looking, I'm really not. And we have oh, I need to compare.
Oh,
And,
the bargain shop.
I need to hit these stores before I need to go back to the first store. And
Tell my mother lights up for Christmas. My son's just like, oh my gosh, grandma. So now his thing is if she sees something, just get it. You're going to have to come back. Just get it.
just get it. But, I think sometimes we think, "Oh, we have to make a big production."
Right.
And
Right. It
it's
doesn't.
really just about
They
time
just want to be with you.
and
Yeah.
commitment,
Yeah.
and even if your grandchildren are long distance, it's making that connection. During the pandemic, I FaceTimed with the one that's now 14.
Yeah.
And we just talk about what she was doing,
Yeah.
and she left she left me in the pantry once because she would like be talking to me, and then she wanted a snack, and she laid me down, and there I am
You're
in the
like,
pantry. I'm like, "Hello, hello."
did you just finally hang up?
I did.
Mine would
I thought,
always,
well, she'll eventually look for a phone
right?
and know where she left it. But, if they're long distance, you may have
Yeah.
some challenges. But today, there are tons of ways
It's so easy.
to stay connected.
Yeah. It's so easy. You just have to put the effort out there. Mine like to FaceTime too, but she always seemed to find the time, like when I'm driving in the car. And she would tell me, just put me down. It's okay. I can see. And then it would be like, I can see up your nose. I see your arm.
Mine like to Snapchat and turn themselves into various
Yes.
animals or,
Yeah. We did
you
that
know,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Thank goodness we never turned ourselves into potatoes.
I think one time one of the granddaughters, it was her and I, and she turned us into strawberries.
Oh, fun.
Which we were cute
Yeah, I
strawberries,
like
but
this job.
so,
Love it.
you know,
So
you
obviously they're going to go through phases.
right, right.
Just follow along.
And the thing that they thought was so cool and you think they want to do, they're so over that.
Right. Yeah. Like mine doesn't turn me into anything now. It's all, grandma, stand here.
Mine are into make a TikTok with us.
Oh, you're so good because I would be like, I have no idea what you want me to do.
Well, I have little dancers,
Yeah.
so they teach me a dance,
Oh, there you go.
and then, you know, I do it badly. It
But you do it.
I give it my best shot.
Right. And no, we're not putting that in the show.
No, no, it's such a creative thing,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that they've been interested in lately is I've been buying art supplies
Oh, yeah.
because we painted rocks for a
Yep.
while. I bought a bunch of inexpensive canvases and
Mhm.
we painted those. You really have to listen.
Right.
You have to listen to what they're
They wanna do.
interested in, and I don't mean that to be preachy, I just know from experience.
Well,
Yes.
and it's hard because I know so her birthday, my granddaughter's birthday is in November, and then, of course, Christmas, and so I think I know what she's gonna want, and then right up to that point,
It
I'll look at her Amazon wish list, and I'm like,
What?
"This is completely different."
Yeah,
What the well, you want twinkly lights?
yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, this wasn't on there before. It was, some other thing, and that's what she wants now." So I'm like, "Okay,"
Mhm.
so they change. You just gotta pay attention.
Yep, because they're going through phases and, they sometimes go very quickly
Yeah.
through different phases.
Yeah. Yeah, it might only be a month.
True.
Mine still loves the manicures. She does not like pedicures at all. We did a pedicure once and she was like, never again. I don't like,
Really?
yeah, she didn't like people touching her feet, which, I can understand because it took me a long
I
time.
was like, I was like, "Can we do a pedicure?" And you're like, "Oh,
My first
uh."
thing would be like, grab my foot like you mean it because I might kick you. Oh, my feet are so ticklish.
My younger granddaughters and I and their mom just went and did pedicures, which is why I have violet toes, which we also are not gonna show, but, that's one of
Yep.
those experiences that,
Yeah. It's
they
fun.
it may be something that's for them, or it may be
Yep.
something that they're like, "Are you nuts?
That's,
No,
yep.
that's not what I wanna do."
Yep. It's fun. It's fun to just be with them and talk and those I love doing that because they are sitting still and they can't look at their phone.
Right.
And so you actually get that,
Yeah.
time to
You've got
really
some
talk
time to
about
sit
stuff.
and chat because
Yeah.
that's what most of these things are about.
Right.
I think that as they're forming interests, they're trying out things, and it's good to be on top of that.
That's right. Yeah. Because this is our opportunity to help inform them and help shape them and just be a part of their
And
lives.
oh my gosh, it goes so
It
fast.
does. Yeah.
I was going through pictures and the it, it's the 19-year-old as a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that just seems like yesterday." You
Yep.
hear people say how fast the time goes, but boy, they grow up very quickly
Too.
and you don't get a second chance.
Nope.
So go
But
all in.
that's right. Make the best of it while you can.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's everything. I
I
think
think
we
so.
we milked that for all we could.
Yeah, we've got a download that we'll do
Yeah.
on some ideas and some additional information if you're interested. And as always, we're interested in hearing from you. So if you have some things that you've done with your grandkids that you'd like to share with us, please do so in the comments or
Yeah.
via our website.
Yep. Send us a link or send us an email, yoursilvercircle.com. We have a way there you can email us, or you can just go ahead and, well, I guess not or, but definitely subscribe if you haven't already, if you're enjoying the content, and then hit notification so that,
Then
yes, smash
then you'll
that
be
button.
notified
That's right.
every time that we drop a new podcast.
Yep. Yep. All right.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
We'll,
It's been great spending time.
we'll see you next time.
All right. That's a wrap.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.